So I was asked to re-record this because the music got distracting. That's fair. So I guess I'll just talk about it a little bit and then add on to what I said before. So I read more about this topic, which is disproportionate representation of non-white students, so Hispanic, Black, Native American, whatever, um, Asian in IDEA, and how that is affecting special education. So basically, the issue is that some school districts have been found to be disproportionately either underrepresenting or overrepresenting students of color. And obviously, that's a problem because if you're underrepresenting them, then you're missing out on opportunities to provide intervention. And if you're overrepresenting them, then you're contributing to like the school to prison pipeline and like stereotypes and all kinds of things like that. So I read more about it, and it looks like how they determine this is that they look at the number of students of a certain demographic versus the number of students of that demographic that are in special education. And then the district has whatever school district has a number that they're supposed to hit. And if it's over that number, they're disproportionately representing. Or if they're under that number, then they're disproportionately representing. So let's say, for example, that the number is 3. And you have 100 students in a school that are Hispanic, and 10 of them are in special education, so that's 10%. And then you have 400 white students, and you only have 20 of those in special education, which is 5%. So let's say that the goal is 5%. So obviously your Hispanic representation would be too high because 10% of students are identified with special education. So it looks like they're trying to change this by having districts kind of come up with ideas for how to reduce that through teacher training or administrator training. Some counties have even had community discussions where the community can contribute how to change it, so that's good. And there's just a lot of this second article, the one that's behind me, is actually about some of the solutions that districts have been trying. um, so it's looking good because in 22 to 23 a lot of districts actually came out of this, whereas in 2019 to 2022 it was pretty bad. And then there's some states that are worse offenders than others. The state that I live in, which is Virginia, is of course on the list. No surprises there. I think they're in the top 9. And then Rhode Island's another one that's really bad. Rhode Island is pretty bad. And I don't remember the others, but yeah, those were a couple of them that were on there. So yeah, that basically was just what this topic is about racial disparities in special education, and how it's a pretty big problem that there's so much disparity in some cases. So, I mean, the good news is that places are trying to work on it, schools are trying to work on it, districts are trying to work on it, but it is a big problem. And even before they started taking this data, you could like there was always, a lot of issues with the way that they stratified students. I personally don't believe in tracking students into special ed or anything like that, to be completely honest with you, because I think that it kind of sets you up later in life to not be able to for one, when you're older, as an older student, like high school age, middle school age, it makes you more of a target sometimes for bullying, so that's not a good thing. And then also it can kind of like you make teachers think that you're just dumb, which is not necessarily true. You might struggle with one area, but that doesn't mean you're dumb. So I'm a big fan of universal design for learning, but unfortunately that doesn't seem to really be taking off anywhere, especially not in the states that have the biggest problems with this.